Martin Brundle is a well-known personality in the F1 media world. Having been an F1 racer himself, he's now best known for his Sunday grid walks and his race commentary. Most fans of F1 hang on to every word Brundle says during the race weekends. There's good reason for this. Being an ex-F1 driver himself, he's by far the most knowledgeable of the commentators on Sky Sports F1. He's also refined his craft over several years, so there's little wonder why most fans prefer his commentary to others. Although Martin Brundle is now part of the Sky Sports F1 team, from looking at his past, it looks like he comes as part of the F1 package. He's been part of the main commentary team since the days when UK broadcast rights were owned by ITV and then the BBC. This type of job guarantee either means two things. He's really good at what he does, or the commercial rights holders want him exactly where he is, or both. But is there a darker, more sinister side to Martin Brundle? It wasn't until the 2020 season that I started having doubts about whether Brundle was using his platform in an honest way. If you're a longtime fan of the sport, then you would have sometimes heard Brundle say, "That car is on rails," in reference to Hamilton's Mercedes W11. Yes, the W11 was a fantastic car, but the amount of times Brundle was saying this phrase made me wonder if he was doing it on purpose to diminish Hamilton's own abilities. There wasn't really any way to be sure about this until the 2021 season came about. Adrian Newey and Red Bull had produced a car for Max Verstappen that was at least as fast as the Mercedes W12 down the straights, if not faster, as the Mercedes kept clipping towards the end, and had greater inherent downforce for faster cornering speed. This essentially meant the Red Bull was the better car on all measurable metrics, and Verstappen proved this to be the case when he took pole at Bahrain by 0.3 seconds. However, after Verstappen had been thoroughly beaten by Hamilton in 3 out of the first 4 races of the season, it didn't look like Verstappen had an answer to Hamilton's race pace. And this is when Brundle, for some reason, decided to deploy that phrase again, "That car is on rails," in reference to the W12. Now this was definitely a red flag. The Red Bull was definitely the better and faster car at the start of the season, yet Brundle was utilizing this phrase from the previous year again. Why? Was he trying to diminish what Hamilton was doing against Verstappen, when both were driving cars of similar performance? I'm certain he was doing that. Think about it. Did you hear Martin Brundle use that phrase in 2023? I didn't. Even with one of the most dominant and brilliant designed cars in F1, Martin Brundle didn't bother to refer to the RB20 as being on rails, which tells me this is not an instinctive phrase he uses when he admires a car's handling. He's deploying it for other purposes. Some of Martin Brundle's other actions during the 2021 season add weight to my suspicions that he wasn't being an honest actor in his commentary duties. Brazil and Jeddah 2021 come to mind, wherein the former, Brundle, inextricably, tried to convince viewers that rather than taking action at turn 4 to avoid Max barreling into him, Lewis just willingly ran wide along with Max, and therefore no steward action was necessary. We saw Brundle attempt the same thing in Jeddah, where again Lewis took action to avoid Max barreling into him, yet Brundle initially tried to create a narrative that both drivers had carried too much speed and ran wide. However, for me, by far the worst thing Brundle done was try to, and in some cases, successfully convince viewers that Lewis ran into the back of Max's car in Jeddah 2021, as if it were just a lapse of judgment on Lewis's part. Contrast this with the commentary of F1 TV's own commentators, where Alex Brundle, son of Brundle Sr., and the rest of the commentating team immediately spotted that Verstappen had carried out a brake check and called it out for what it was. If you watched my other video about how Sky Sports F1 tried to shape the media narrative at the 2021 Qatar Grand Prix, then it shouldn't be a stretch for you to see how Brundle might be integral in an overall plan to prop up their great hope. Verstappen. If Max isn't able to bring Lewis down a peg or two on the racetrack, then the media will do it in their broadcast. So, was Brundle doing all this media spin on his own initiative or on the behalf of someone else? Well, it seems to me he was a willing participant in spinning false narratives and running interference for Red Bull. But given that there were so many weird decisions by other entities in F1 during the 2021 season, I believe Brundle was just following orders from someone higher up. Thanks for watching. Help support this channel by clicking the like and subscribe buttons below. Till next time.